are you and who are you, Shay?
I guess I'm good. My name is Shay. I am from Israel. I live in Berlin for 8 years now, and I am working in the culinary world, doing mainly cooking classes. And since the 7th of October, I'm pretty active in the community fighting anti-Semitism. Um, yeah, that's
In,
in general.
yeah, in what way do you do that?
So I would say in different ways. I started just like with very small group because in the beginning we were not organized, just like collecting stuff like graffiti, stickers, all kinds of incidents, and posts, events, and try to do something with this to send it to stuff that are really against the law, like Hamas um, support to the
Yes.
police and talk to politicians. And sadly, not much happened. Not much moved in this direction. So I thought to do something more active and less passive. So I had the idea that we managed to do once, and it went really good. So we continue. It's developed to a project called "I'm from Israel. Ask Me Anything."
All right.
Um, and yeah, it's me and sorry, me and a couple other Israelis. We went to mainly universities. And we had like a table, and we had a T-shirt says I'm from Israel, ask me anything, and invited people to talk, to ask questions, to debate, whatever
And how did that
they
go?
wanted. It went good. I mean, it was very, from one side, it was very, I don't know how to say it, but I would say, uh, yeah, kind of encouraging to see that most people are respectful,
Yeah.
interested, and yeah, and so most people are fine
Yeah,
still.
and I mean,
It's
I think from my experience also, I mean, people just need contact. People need a face. People need a person. People need to figure out like, oh, this is a normal person. Yeah, and all of a sudden, um, the respect level rises and the hate level drops significantly and quite fast. I mean, it's not gonna be. It doesn't have to be a hugging party. It's not gonna
mm,
be that. But I mean, I always admire. I have. Uh, yeah, quite a bunch of Jewish friends who, I mean, like I would say, there's these categories. One is like we don't show our face on Instagram. There's a profile picture with something else, and people do all this kind of, I would say, like small detail work, like getting down stickers, reporting incidents, reporting hate
mm,
comments, reporting all these things. And I mean, that's a massive amount of work. Yeah, I mean,
mm,
that it's got to be incredibly tiring, and I think like whenever something on the news happens, you're gonna have another 10,000 stickers out, another 10,000 hate comments. So it's
mm,
like this is, I would say, just in a way just cleanup work,
mm,
but what's the actual preventive work? And I think one has to go a bit on the offense. One has
mm.
to be more visible. One has to maybe not go like directly confrontational to like the other side, but at least be open to show that there's a human being there.
Yeah, I started with the good part of this project, but it's not just that. Was encouraging to see the majority are, yeah, as I said, respectful. Doesn't mean they love Israel or they don't want to debate with me. But I haven't seen one university. We have not been in one university that we didn't have any, I would call it anti-Semitic attack or like some kind of very unpleasant experience where we did get very, very much, yeah, I would not call it a debate. It was just like, screaming,
Yeah.
um, vile things and, yeah, so sometimes also later taking photos of us and posting it on their student for Palestine or they have 50,000 names calling for Intifada. So we were like be scared to come for the second day or for the third day. Um, that happened anytime. So that is the same. That has also happened. in
Yeah.
universities. Um, and each one, that there's
Does it go
something
beyond
like
that,
this.
that you get problems in your restaurant, in your workplace, that
Uh,
people kind of like,
no, not really. And I mean, uh, it happened to me like I think a week ago that somebody took a question, a comment of mine online, and did like I think it's doxing. It's now in police interrogation, but cut it, and they said, "Look at this bigot, look at this racist Zionist," and also saying something like, "How come Israeli feel so confident talk like this?" and blah blah blah. And she posted it to her followers, and I asked her not to do that. And she posted the my employee, like, because everyone knows where I work, and she said, "Please write to the employee." So I filed a report in the police, and I think she will be in problem. I don't recommend to do that. I had enough of. I got it a little bit before, but this time I immediately reported the police, and they take it seriously.
nice.
Um,
You
Second
talk,
thing, she did it herself. My employee wrote me, and then she also my employee who already got things, and he knows me. He knows I do. I do also a project with Palestinian person, so he knows it's a lot of it's. He probably gets a lot of bullshit, but this time he shared with me that this person already tried before with something else, so it's a repeated offense, and so yeah. I mean, at some point you just have to get it. This might happen. They didn't come physically to my work. I mean, it would be silly. Uh, but yeah, that's the risk. And I would tell you another thing, that the other side, maybe it's similar to what you experienced, that you said people don't want to talk. Pretty, I think, I don't remember all the universities, but every university, some Jewish person came to me and just said that they're happy that we are there and doing this because they cannot, and they are afraid to even,
yeah,
you know, I guess, like, be open with their Jewishness or their relationship to Israel. So I'm not saying I'm a hero or something, but I have a little bit more balls than other people. I don't mind. I'm like, I
you
do
said,
go there and
right.
confront them. Yeah.
You said confidence. I mean, people said, how could this guy be so confident being a Zionist? I was always asking, how could everybody be so confident flying a Palestinian flag, calling for the Intifada? Like that, the amount of confidence on the globalized Intifada side is mind blowing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Without any brains. So I
Mm,
think I also think like a big remedy of that is confidence.
mm,
On the other side, it doesn't, and I'm very much against like being a confrontational of like force of being like, let's have a pro-Israel, pro-Palestine confrontation. No, it's just like have a confidence to show that there's the other side as well, and
mm,
that needs to be visible.
mm,
And when you said you have more balls than others, I think that's something we wrote before. I wanted to also discuss because I wanted to talk with a bunch of people. I also had a live talk before um, with girls and women. They all asked me to not post the video, to not show, right? I know a lot of profiles of work against anti-Semitism is run by women. They don't show their faces. They're quite afraid, and reasonably so, right? I mean, very
mm,
understandably. And I also have this. I think we also have to start discussing a kind of gender disparity here, because what I also feel on this kind of like, let's call it pro-Palestinian side, is the aggressive people, I would say, is generally an Arab male. But the crazy thing is it's heavily supported by a bunch of, I would say, leftist German women, So that's what makes this movement also here so strange. You see a
mm,
lot of female
mm,
pro-Pali Hamas supporting terrorism,
mm,
relativizing people, and
mm,
this gives it this crazy protection, like normalization in our society here,
mm,
because so many women support it. But then there is a radical super macho male core, and I think this one, the really aggressive one, is only deterred by other men. So and they mostly target Jewish women online. That's what I heard a lot. And but yeah, I wanna ask you back. What do you think about that? Or is this
Um, I don't know the statistics, but some of the most aggressive were women, for sure, for sure.
screaming wise? I mean,
Yeah, 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 screaming wise. But also they're the one who posted about me calling for Intifada with my face while they knew I will come again because they asked. We had a talk. We had a talk in the beginning. So yeah, kind of like basically again maybe pushing people to come and arrest us the day after. So it came from a woman. Technically, it wasn't a physical attack. I didn't get any physical attack now, but I do see a lot of women, and I read somewhere that it's actually kind of makes sense when you're in the extreme left-wing bubble, which I think actually statistically also have more women active,
yeah,
especially in the place where you have like more emotional than rational and all this victim and perpetrator narrative. So sadly, I see a very strong tendency of women to be very radical. Here in Berlin, we have some that are literally all of their Instagram is glorifying Hamas, women,
yeah, yeah,
jihad Islam, like not just Hamas, like the jihad Islam movement. Um, as you said, German, I don't know German, but European women, I some things are beyond. Living in Israel and seeing that, I mean, in Israel, as much as you're left wing, you understand what will happen
yeah.
when
I,
you
I thought
find,
it was. I read a
yeah,
statistic once. I think it's an Australian newspaper, Quillette, that said kind of like three
yeah,
quarters of the pro-Palestinian supporters are women,
mm,
and the people in Belgium like who really attacked a military site and destroyed
mm,
military equipment that was actually meant for Ukraine. I
mm,
mean, the most serious offenses,
mm,
and most of them were European women, and this is what makes it so crazy and worrying to me, is
mm,
because it gets it's kind of there's an intense radicalism wrapped in a soft kind of um yeah, like I don't know, it's against the
yeah,
patriarch. It's a
yeah,
very weird mix.
yeah, yeah, it's
and
all,
and
yeah,
and so this is why on the other side, like there's so many Jewish women that are absolutely afraid to show themselves, absolutely afraid
mm,
to show themselves online, anywhere,
mm,
and but have so much to say, and it is so hard to make their voices visible. And
mm,
also, what's very hard to make visible is the Arab voices, who are. I have a very good friend from Syria, like he was also a
mm,
refugee 2015, 10 years ago.
mm,
He's been 9 times to Mecca. He's a super Muslim. He very much
mm,
supports what I do, like spreading t-shirts and so on. But he also tells me like he would not go online with me a live talk. He would be
mm,
completely kicked out by his community. He
mm,
wants to go back to Syria. He would be whipped. He loves going back to
mm,
Syria. So it's
mm,
it's 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 so hard in Europe to make the moderate Arab voices heard, and to make
mm,
the victims of anti-Semitism heard, because there's a sort of climate of fear, but it's wrapped in this um, like normalized with so much female support kind of like activism.
mm,
At least that's what I feel. But and also, I mean, you live in Berlin, and I live in Vienna. It seems still more normal, like calm here. We get crazy news from Berlin. How is it in
mm.
Berlin now? I just saw from Sarah Maria San um yeah. Sarah Maria
Yeah,
Sanda.
Sarah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. She
yeah,
just reported like how every
yeah,
day in Berlin almost
mm,
now there are these pro
yeah,
Hamas.
yeah.
Let's not call it pro Palestine, pro
No, no,
Hamas
no, they,
rallies.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was Iman was also there. He also makes videos a lot in those demonstration, and he's a Iranian in diaspora who also gets a lot of threats on his life, and he goes a lot to those demonstrations. No, in those the demonstration, they were screaming for the El Qassam Brigade and Sinwar, the leader of Hamas,
Yeah.
and we know who are those people. It's maybe the 100th time they already did it. They just allowed to do it here in Berlin for more than. It's the same people that do it for more than 20 months now. They always scream for Hamas. It's very clear. Nothing happens to them. So of course they feel comfortable to do it again and again. And there's some idiots, sorry, I have no other words, that go with them, and I don't know what they think. I don't understand them, but it's pretty clear that it's pro Hamas. They don't distance themselves. And another thing, you were saying that you can include Arabs, you can include Jews, you can include Germans who are afraid to speak because you probably know this yourself. Once you they created the Zionist narrative, and they go very aggressively and shut a lot of. It's like a monster. That's how I see it. It's like a monster who consume more and more people. And we try to warn. The beginning was like just the Jews, but now like we had a event in the parliament in Potsdam, and we were with um, Andreas Buttner. He's a politician in the parliament from the left party, the Linke, and because he is against Hamas, they consume him too. He's on the list. He's getting threats. It's like he's he always he's pushed also. Yeah, once you're marked as a Zionist, and Hamza Hawidi, the guy who Palestinian
I
from
just saw
Gaza.
he joined before. He actually just joined the
Ah,
live
yeah,
before or something. Okay, but he's
interesting. Hi,
gone
Hamza.
already. Yeah, yeah. You know him?
So yeah, we do a project together called We Want to Live, and
Nice.
yeah, so. Yeah, that's it. Once you market, you have a whole army that will follow you and do terrible things in the name of what they see justice. And that's also you pointed also this thing that they sugarcoat everything, and that's why I do like to debate and be a little bit aggressive, because it's like I try to get how does it look, when they paint this as a fight against colonialism and against oppression, apartheid, and
I know
But
it's
then, but then when you ask him, okay, how does it look? And I asked somebody in like an FU university, Freie Universität, I asked, what do you do with all the Zionists? She said, well, we kick them out. And I said, oh, well, like 90% of the Jews in Israel are Zionists. And she's like, and she screamed it. I don't care if it's 1% or 99%, all of
yeah.
them in German. Alle raus.
Yeah.
And it's like you
It's
just you just change the word Jew and Zionist, and you can do every like it's
yes.
like such a
And what I think is amazing always with they don't want to listen to the victims of Jewish voices. They don't want to listen to the victims of female voices. They don't want to listen to the victims of Arabs. They don't want to listen to Iranians. They,
mm,
like all the people who really have skin in the game, are absolutely ignored, and
mm,
it's just following a radicalized narrative. And I mean, we've all been shocked ever since October 7th. And I mean, I
mm,
realized, well, there's some reason. I mean, there has been an infrastructure in place for 50 years, I guess, since the 70s, that, um, and there is just no infrastructure in place for, um, not even Jewish support. I mean, Zionist, like just to normalizing a word of Zionism that's apparently what we're realizing is going to be a generational work, and the it's we can do, many, and there will be more like live talks, and there's a lot of like small activism, but there needs to be some sort of infrastructure, I mean, that's you realize after October 7th, all the left, like all the networks in like the leftist sphere, you just need to scream free Palestine, globalized intifada. You don't, there's no need for arguments. There's no need for discussion. There is nothing that can penetrate that right now.
mm,
And I mean, what do you think could be I mean, I think the remedy really is only if there is people just standing up, showing themselves in group, also in groups, being like, yes, this is normal. Yes, calm down. This is
yes,
normal. Yeah, you're gonna see a friendly
yeah,
face. You can scream at it all you want. And but it's a lot of time and effort and energy.
mm.
And,
Yeah.
and one thing I wanted to tell, I don't know how it is in Berlin or in Germany,
Mm,
and also for the people in Germany, because there's something very specifically weird in Austria,
mm,
is that the we have the even a political party called the Liste Gaza, and it's the very organized pro-Palestinian movement here, or like pro-Hamas movement almost, is led by a Jewish woman. Okay, and she founded the Jewish Antizionist Congress,
mm,
and there's also like, okay, she's mostly considered crazy, and then there's
mm,
there's a movement here called Standing Together, which is kind of like the Jewish or Israeli and Palestinian voices standing together. But if
mm,
you look at their
mm,
Instagram accounts, it's only Israel genocide.
mhm,
There's not one Arab condemning jihad or making this a theme.
mhm,
It's again, it's not even just sugar coated. It's with women. It's legitimized by finding
mhm,
a very rare, br- like portion of Jewish women
mhm,
to support that.
mhm,
And I personally realized um, you're really only accepted as a Jew, also in Austria and Germany, the more you hate Israel,
mhm,
and the more you stand as a Jew, you stand by Israel. You are
mhm.
going to be like made fun of by every newspaper, and they don't even realize it. I don't know how does that compare to Germany as well?
Yeah, for sure. It's all over. Do you mean Irena Vana? Just Google it. This
Astrid Wagner. Oh, well, Astrid Wagner is not. She's a lawyer.
Gaza. Irene Vana. Maybe there's other names, but
There's
I just
Daria Salig is her name, who founded the Jewish
here I see. Yeah,
Anti-Zionist. Daria
she's the
Salig, yeah.
second, but she's not
Astrid,
Israeli, right?
no, no, she's Austrian.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, with the Jews, it's I don't know what to say. I mean, no, I have too many too many things to say. First, I mean, yeah, we have here too. We have couple. We have the Jüdische Stimme, and literally some of them are openly kind of support Hamas or just say that they're a natural occurrence and whatever. We have individual. I'm not going to connect them to any movement. I don't know want to um, say something specific, but they are Jewish, and even one Israeli. But again, at least it's one that we found until now that literally supports Hamas online. It's very frustrating. It's very crazy. I think I don't have any words than some probably some spectrum of autism that leads to this. I don't know. I'm not a not psychologist, but I don't see any other reason. It's just insanity. But
I don't actually. I don't think
yeah,
so. Personally,
you know.
I think that over generations,
Mm,
people have, or especially Jews, have been trained that you're only accepted really as a Jew in society if you're anti-Jewish. And I think
yeah.
especially for young people, it's just natural. You want to have friends, you want to fit in, right? And if you grow up as a Jew and you are a
Mm,
minority,
mm,
and a lot of Jews in school would even hear things like, "Oh, you should have been sent to Dachau or Auschwitz or whatever." And it's very absolutely average, normal mobbing in high school, and
mm.
people want to fit in, so they will adapt. And I think it's a
Yeah,
generational training.
yeah, for
And the
sure.
people who are saying, "No, I'm proud to be Jewish and I stand by Israel," they are going to
Mm.
be excluded, and they will only
Yeah,
be naturally just put in a among each other. So this
for
is,
sure. But
yeah,
I do think there is some usage of people that have problems, as
of course, yeah,
in any other. Look, there's also, I mean, historically, many people don't know it, but there was a movement called the Association of Jews for the Third Reich, and
yeah,
I'm very, I find it, yeah, we should talk more about this. That was an organization of Jewish people who were supporting the Third Reich, and I have no other words for this. They were part of the Nazi party. They promoted violence against other Jews that are either the religious people, mainly the religious people who came from East Europe, or the Zionists. They say it quite clearly. That happened or a long time ago. So yeah, I see. I'm sorry, I compare them to those people because they also found out that
Yeah.
Sadly, yeah, a lot of them died in the end because they were not accepted in the end by the Nazi Party. We nobody is now looking at back at them and say, "Oh, they were right." I mean, they thought the same thoughts that they doing the right thing, and there were a lot of them were in academia,
Yeah,
mainly
yeah.
from in academia, because sorry, you need to be some ideas are so mental that you need to be intellectual to believe in them, and that's exactly I think what we see now. Those people usually are in academia
Yeah.
and believe in all those theories that I myself was part of the left, so I know how it is. I know how it is when you day and night convince yourself that there's some evil force and you can be the savior, especially if you're a Jew. Because here, look at me, I'm the good Jew, even
Mhm.
though I'm very in a small minority, and those all are bad Jews. Yeah,
No, I
that's
mean,
just.
again, I don't know if you know, but like I am not Jewish, right? So
Yeah.
and of course now I also get like accused to be like a philosemite, which it's another like it's another word like oh you're just the opposite of like being an anti-Semite, and I just feel like it's for me personally also. I mean, after like October 7th hit me as a non-Jew because it felt like it was a direct attack on really everything I believed in society and especially the aftermath, right?
Hmm.
I was like, this is not just an attack on Jews. Yeah, this is there's a fundamental attack on trust in journalism, of course, in academia, with the whole thing that you got bubbling out. So it's my problem as well, and it's what I am mostly pissed off about also in our Austrian media is whenever it comes to anti-Semitism or and also the Near East, they invite the Jewish community, right? As if like they are like as if they have to like solve it, as if it's not a societal problem as a whole.
Hmm.
And I but after like for 1 year, I was absolutely just like I felt like air suffocating,
Hmm.
and afterwards that's why I started this thing on Instagram. And in the end, in a weird way, it was a liberation for me because
Hmm.
at some point I was like, fuck it all. It's just really fuck it all.
Hmm.
There's no more purpose in trying to accommodate,
Hmm.
like diplomatically with with anyone.
Hmm.
I feel like that's what I try to do now as like a non-Jew. I mean, we're all
Hmm.
humans, but to break taboos
Hmm.
and because also here in Austria, anti-Semitism, I realized it's just in the laboratory, right? You study it in academia, and then you have the
Hmm.
anti-Semitism academics, and you'll talk about the Middle Ages and so on. But
Hmm.
people don't care about this. There's got to be um some way to make it clear to the average person.
Yeah, tell me when you find out the way.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
right. I mean,
it's hard. Yeah.
okay. I had one um
Yeah.
like epiphany once.
Mm.
Is that for the average person, they're thinking, oh, well, if Jews have been attacked and persecuted for thousands of years so much, and they have been killed so much, and people hate them so much, even if it's too much, maybe, well, they got to be really bad people, right? If so many people hate them. And on the other side, people think like, oh, well, if so many Muslims blow themselves up or stab people randomly on the streets, then they've got to be so poor and oppressed that they have no other way of
Mm.
expressing themselves. So I think this is the average mindset for people who have
Mm.
absolutely no clue, and that's the majority.
Mm.
Um, is because they have there is no sentiment that how what religious narratives for thousands of years can do to large groups of people. That it's really religiously motivated from in like genetically almost to yeah to get to this like taboo head on.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it was a question. I don't think I don't agree with you. I think it's there's so many. I think a lot of the things, if you compare it to other racism, the double standard for me is always like astonishing that people would say the same things about Jews or Israelis or whatever. And if you would be even like microaggression towards, yeah, some other minority, you will call racist. Um, and almost like anti-Semitism is not even racism. It's like
no,
the 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 threshold is the highest. Like pretty much, okay, you want to kill Jews, you're anti-Semite, but you want to expel millions of Jews of Israel out of Israel. You want to kill Zionists. I mean, there's so much. Or you don't let Jews go into universities because there's demo. There's always excuses that they would not use it for any other minority, and that's also another reason why they use the minority of Jews, which they will not use in any other for any other minority. Um, I always like say, it's like saying that there's some people who, black people who don't mind they use the N word. Doesn't mean it's okay. No, we all
right.
agree that the majority will be offended of it, and we listen to them. But it doesn't work somehow with the Jews. It's like that's why it's very important. There's other non-Jews who speak because a lot of those people, I talk a lot with them in the universities and in school. They just don't know. They have not been confronted with. We are Maybe that was our mistake thousands of years ago to decide not to let people convert easily, because
Yeah.
I guess it's also a number thing.
It's absolutely
They
a number
just
thing.
Yeah. So we need allies. We need people who you don't have to be pro-Israel, but just like point out how wrong it is, because
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I do
we
think these days, it's like Adorno kind of like said, this anti-Semitism is the rumor about Jews, and now anti-Zionism is just a rumor about Israel. I think if for especially progressives, I mean, Israel is kind of like the progressive paradise, like it's and I keep saying this, even with an ultra right-wing government, it's still more liberal than
yeah.
than a lot of European countries. So
Mhm.
and there's just this eternal rumor about it, and people need some contact with it. And I absolutely agree with you. I mean, that's also why I'm doing this. It's non-Jews need to start standing up, but I just feel like so many non-Jews have a problem with it because they feel like there's 1,000 little taboos to step in, right?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
um, it's like I said, now am I now a philosemite? Can I be considered a philosemite? Is that then I'm an anti-Semite as well, like
Hmm.
do I have to always say I condemn a government of Israel? It's like, just no, you don't need, just we
Hmm.
it cannot be solved on an intellectual level now. It's you need some courage to just say I stand with the Jewish people. That's it. Not that much discussion. It's really about numbers, about
Hmm.
um yeah, bringing people together, and kind of like getting this infrastructure going. And what I
Yeah.
realized that the best group to do this with is with Iranians. I mean, I've not found more pro-Zionist, pro-Israel people than Iranians. Like they would say thank you Israel, like I don't know, 100 times per day that most Jews in
Hmm.
Austria, Germany are not even
Hmm.
like feel like they have the courage to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Druze give them a good fight in that point right now, but also supporting Israel. Um, yeah, sorry, I didn't want to
no, no, go ahead.
interrupt. Um, but it's a good point, and that's some one thing we try here to make some kind of a coalition. We have a lot of also Kurdish people here. I don't know how it's in Austria, but I think the biggest diaspora of Kurdish people outside the Middle East is in Germany. I think something like 2 million people, and there is even a Kurdish movement against anti-Semitism. So not all of them are allies of Israel, or not. You know, anti-Semitism exists everywhere, but
It's about
there's
minorities standing up for minorities. I mean,
yeah, it's the minorities in the Middle East. That's another thing the progressive don't understand because they think Muslims here are minority and
that's the whole thing. Yeah.
automatically they're oppressed. Minority means oppressed. So
No, I know this
uh,
narrative needs to be broken. That first of all, I mean, Muslims are minority. I mean, of course, there's like more non-Muslims here, but
mm,
it's not a minority, and it also like they managed to conquer multiculturalism, you know, as
mm,
if yeah, I think this has to be made visible. It's like it's Druze, it's Kurdish, it's Iranians, it's Jews, it's Arabs, it's this is
it's
the multiculturalism,
yeah, yeah,
and it needs
yeah.
to be fought back. It's we've been all too lazy, too
Hmm.
comfortable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they pretend to stand with the minorities, but in the Middle East, they are doing totally the opposite. We are the minorities, Kurdish, Druze, Yazidi too, and we are oppressed by Islamic regime all over. Everywhere there's Islamic regime, some other group will be oppressed if they even exist in this country. So it's like twist of narrative. It's twist of reality.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, and I think that's one thing that is good because that is a core belief of a lot of left-wing people, and it does work. There's a lot of left-wing people that I know, not necessarily pro-Israel, but they are against Islamic regime, and it started to be more quite more clear that they are oppressing people. And I would say that was like for me, what I saw in the left-wing movements here, that kind of split the left after the one of the demos here. That one time when Israel had a skirmish with Iran, they had a demonstration from the Linke combined with people who were raising the Islamic Republic in Iran flags and the jihad flags, and that created some kind of attention. And I think that's important to notice that that's maybe something we can work with. But otherwise, yeah, it's very hard, as you said, and I don't know how to maybe also be aware that we will not win. We can just do our best, hopefully get people who are, with time, maybe things will change. Another thing that happened to me in university when those people shouted at me in FU, and it happened in other university where it was so violent from their side, and all we did was standing. But in both cases, other people saw it. It was an open space, and in both cases, the people just stood there, came to me after this horrific words that were said. They came to me and we said, uh, we don't support that. That is terrible. That is, I think at some point I'm kind of happy they're so vile sometimes because people see
It's,
that.
I,
I'm
I,
like,
I,
okay,
I yeah, I kind of
let me, yeah,
oh,
sorry.
voice. I don't know. I just heard something double.
Yeah.
I hear this from my neighbors. Okay, like I mean, there's a big Serbian guy. There's an ultra gay German guy. There's an old lady here,
Mm,
and I heard it the last couple of weeks now because we have Palestinian flags flying every day from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, right up here the street. It's a big shopping street, you know. For example, they all say, we are so sick and tired of it. We're so sick and
mm,
tired of it. I think at some point, and I think this has been happening since the attack on the Islamic regime in Iran, something has broken. Something has people started to be like, it's too much now.
mm,
It's gotten over the cusp. And
mm.
average people don't they've absolutely had enough. I mean, on universities, also, yeah, with the violence, people starting to realize this is this is really not a peace movement. This is not about rights.
Oh,
This is not. I mean, I knew this from the start. I knew this
yeah.
for like for 10 years. But
Yeah, I knew it when people celebrated here and giving outside my window, giving baklawas, sweets to people on 8th of October. It was like, okay, then how will the demo be look? I actually wanted to go to the demos because I am a peace activist. And then I was like, okay, friends of mine said if you you might get killed. I mean, I don't know, killed, but like you might
Yeah,
get
like attacked.
attacked. So I was like, what? That cannot be. I was naive myself, and obviously after 2 3 weeks, I was like, okay, this is none of this is for peace. It's not for peace. It's hate movement that covered in very nice words, sugar coated. It's a
Yeah,
sugar
but it's not
coated
even,
hate movement.
the whole thing is not
Yeah.
even nice words anymore. It's the
Oh.
I'm also waiting for, I would say, the structural acknowledgement of like politicians and like really the state to start. I mean, it's the whole thing is like they're not gonna really recognize it as a radical hate movement if at the
Mhm.
same time they want to recognize a Palestinian state. I mean, they are in their they are themselves having
Mhm.
to square circles and
Yeah.
this is also what it's you want to build bridges, but for me, ever since October 7th, it's like it's become clear. I mean, there is no bridge to be built now. It's
Mhm.
right now. There's got to be a consolidation
Mhm.
of um, yeah, people to just be like what is right and what is wrong. I mean, it's gonna take a long time to again build these bridges. This is why, like I told you before, like we have these movements of like the Israeli and the Palestinian together, and everything you see is it's all Israel fault. It's not a bridge. It's not a bridge. You're being
Mhm.
dragged over into like the Intifada side. It's but there is no infrastructure really. This is what I really. I mean, there is a strong, it's in Austria and not in Germany also a strong infrastructure in. I say combating anti-Semitism and like supporting the Jewish community, but it's kind of been bubbled off into like something formal, you know? It never
Mhm.
reached a the average person and the civil
Mhm.
society.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. How we make it like normal, like mm, how we reach normal people.
Yes.
I mean, what you do with a t-shirt, I think something like this is just
I think also
normalizing.
this is what
Yeah.
my basic idea, like I did not invent the design, right? Like
Mhm.
I had a similar T-shirt for years because my ex-girlfriend used to work at the Jewish Museum and they had this exhibition,
Mhm.
and I was wearing this T-shirt ever since October 7th.
Mhm.
And I realized this helps. You know, it helps. People see it. You get the
Mhm.
looks. You get the
Did you,
looks.
did you get problems also?
Never,
For, never?
never.
Mhm.
And but also like I have friends, you know, in like the art university. It's full of kafiyas
Mhm.
and globalized intifada, you know. And I'm not gonna. I never walked up to anybody and like started a conversation. I don't even want that. It's too exhausting, right? So I just wore these t-shirts and walk around, you know,
Mhm.
and that's it, right? And that's it. And people see it, and the kafir people will just be quiet
Mhm.
because it's not an IDF shirt, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's
also not.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Go ahead.
so. Because I'm thinking like, what is this? It's so weird. What is the level of some kind of support t-shirt I can wear without being hit
Yes,
by vile comments or even violence? And until now, I haven't found even if just like I love and then Magen David or something. I think that will get me in trouble in Berlin. Anything with
I
Magen
mean,
David.
yeah, I know. I mean, this is the harsh reality. It should not be, but also we have to accept that. So this is what I also felt like that this is kind of like, okay, this is the other
Yeah,
way. It's sugarcoating it, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I kind of feel like you got to reach the kids. Maybe you can even like I feel like that's what I mean. Like we got to start breaking taboos. It's not about explaining from the Middle Ages and blood libels and Nazism and from Hitler to Hussein. You can do all that in
Hmm.
private, but
Hmm.
the it needs to be, and it's gonna be a work, a generational work. But I think just with kids, um, if Palestinianism can be trendy just like that without knowing anything, this could also be trendy. And it's just about finding some really easy, cheesy, schmoozy way to to do that. I mean, I also don't
Mhm.
know how. Of course, I'm looking for business partners. I mean, like I don't know, just like for spread this. Um, I this is also just
Sure.
the because it needs to be something simple in a way, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
you
think
can sell it.
what
Yeah. You can sell it in Berlin.
I
So
do, I do. There, I have
good.
I send you the link. It's Mazalov,
Yeah.
mazalov.com. I made this spreadshirt t-shirt shop. And it's also what I'm thinking about because I've been making a lot of reels and commenting and expressing my mind. And and for the last 3 months, I just found my bubble. And
Mhm.
I'm glad I found this bubble. But after 3 months now, I'm also thinking, all right, I'm just talking with my bubble and it's fine. And
Mhm.
I need it also. But how can you go beyond that? You know, this is,
Mhm.
and this has always been the thing I try to do is like, okay, from non-Jew to Jew, you're not alone. Let me just
Yes.
be like, whenever you're scared and have to go into hiding, we have to take over. And I hope to also inspire other non-Jews to do that so that I can also relax at some point, right?
Mhm.
And it needs to be something simple and cheerful.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
also I hope like maybe yeah, maybe you can to get this to Berlin or like I don't know there needs to be some infrastructure on it.
Mhm.
I can't think of anything else.
Um, you're right. There needs to be an infrastructure. They're very, very, very well funded and active, and every university, every neighborhood, they have committees, they have the time. Those people are in demos. I have no idea how they find the time.
Me neither, yeah.
Um, yeah, so we do have some, but it's not enough. Um, but maybe just bring it more simple, as you said, to the normal life. Just wear a t-shirt or not expect too much from activists to be all the time active. It's also hard. I think also people busy, uh, people are afraid to. Matt have a question.
Why is anti-Semitism so pop? Anti-Semitism or what do you mean, Matt? Why is it so
Anti-Semitism.
popular in
Uh,
Berlin?
Matt is a good friend. Actually, Matt, can I tell a little bit about the connection we have?
Sure, sure, go ahead, please.
But or should I answer the question? Should we answer? Do you want people to ask
I'm not from
questions?
Berlin. I mean, you go out to the Berlin stuff. I
Yeah.
can.
No, no, like Q&A.
Yeah,
Q&A.
anti-Zionism. I
Anti-Zionism.
also think because Matt says anti-Zionism,
Mm,
I also think today we should not be combating anti-Semitism. We should directly combat anti-Zionism. We have to go with the trend, you know. Uh,
mhm,
this is the whole thing. Whenever I hear like somebody uh, being invited on television from the Jewish community, that's what I always said. They start with the Middle Ages and with the anti-Judaism. People don't have the time, the interest from that, you know. And I think also
mhm,
anti-Semitism is old now. We have to accept that anti-Zionism is trendy.
mhm.
We have to go on the anti-Zionism trend and combat anti-Zionism with anti or with Zionism, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no point to really differentiate now. I mean, if you look in the academic way, actually, I would say that actually anti-Zionism was always kind of part of, not always, but for a long time, part of anti-Semitism. And I think because of the Holocaust, we forget the what we call actually the Holocaust before the Holocaust, the pogroms that were done in East Europe. And this was mainly fueled by the book, The Elderly Scroll of Zion, which
Of course, yeah.
was a fiction about first encounter first of somebody who was in the first Congress of the Zionist Congress. So it's like the political way to be anti-Semite back then.
It came
So
from
it's like,
Russia,
look,
right?
yeah, and it came from Russia,
And it's like
and it was
it's
it was
also like this
confirming.
communism against capitalism thing.
Uh, yeah, but even before that, it was. By the way, many people who slaughtered Jews in East Europe became communists. It wasn't a thing. It was mainly anti, like the thought was, look, it's a confirmation that the Jews want to take over the world. If they meet and talk about making their own state, and all the things we thought about the Jews are actually true. Here,
Yeah.
they have the Zionist Congress in secret kind of way. So it's just confirm our anyway anti-Semitism that we had, and it's very easy to then blame them to be against your own country and to be a traitor, because if they want to create another state, they're not really good citizens of the state. So that is one thing, but that is more on the academic side. I do think that that's why I call it like hate hate movement, because, for example, this guy, Elias Rodriguez, who shot the two um,
Oh,
Jewish
yeah, yeah.
people, and he, on his social media, he said, like, he had a post calling to exterminate the Zionists. So,
And
I
yeah,
mean,
this is also
in the
what
end,
really hit me and what also got me up because I am a
yeah,
Zionist. I'm not a Jew, but I feel like
yeah,
I am, I'm starting to get a target also. And the
of
people
course,
he killed, they were not, or like one was not even Jewish, was just a Christian or something, right?
yeah.
And this is the weird thing also, like where the anti-Zionists, I mean, they also make a big case about not going against like the Orthodox Jews, because they don't mind them, right?
It
Also,
depends
I
which
mean,
Orthodox, you know. I
yeah,
mean,
of
in the
course,
end,
yes.
when you talk to them and you ask, that's why I think it's important to talk to them, to ask, how does it look? If you have, if Rodriguez is your, and he is their
Idol.
their idol, they idolize him. They did not distance themselves from him. So let's say you become, like, you mean pro-Palestinian or pro, like, I would say the extreme pro-Palestinian. um, if you become a king and you can do whatever you want, and you can solve the Zionist problem, how would it look? How would you even differentiate between a Jew and a Zionist? And if a Jew is a Zionist, what do? You send him to a camp to re-educate him, you kill him. Like, it's very, and the goal in the end is violent and dangerous. Doesn't matter if it's called anti-Zionism or
Yeah.
anti-Semitism. I don't feel safe around this ideology. It's not. It's got the same goal, the same tactics. It's dark solutions, and so I don't care about the name. I mean, I would call it anti-Semitism, but don't tell me you're anti-Zionist and you make it fine, and I should be like, oh, thank you. That's, I feel so much better now.
You're right, right.
Um, when you're so violent, when it's so violent, it's such a, there's elements of this movement that are so violent. And again, I go back to this point that even liberals start to, liberal left wing, normal left wing, start to differentiate from themselves. So I said, look, in a way,
But it,
I don't want this violent part, but it's also like so out of anything normal, and it's so vile that it's exposed them as hate group. And if they
yeah,
call it anti-Zionism, it doesn't work.
the
It doesn't
problem
make
that
it
I
nice.
have with them, that it took 2 years, you know,
Yeah.
that it did not happen immediately. This is what shocked me. This is what absolutely shocked me because I thought on October 7th, I mean, I was always like, all right, like it was always like, look, the Palestinians, yes, I mean, look, they do so much shit. They should take some responsibility for themselves. But okay, yes, they need their own state, they have their own rights, blah, 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 and so on. Yes, two-state solution. On October 7th, it became clear it's impossible. And and I thought that that was the average thought as well, that people on the left and everybody would say, all right, like we support a Palestinian state, but this, holy shit, no. That it takes 2 years almost of this shit flowing out of every pore for some to be like, yeah, maybe this is not okay. This just showed how spineless and how like weak and how scared the majority of normal thinking people are from their own little radical groups. So that's gotta that will take a long time to heal, or if ever. I mean, there has been something so fundamentally broken
Mhm,
in a trust in anybody who had been at least left leaning, and but also
mhm,
the academic world and the journalistic world, that it
mhm.
takes so long to be self-corrective. is more than embarrassing.
Hmm. Yeah, and probably
So
there's some. I mean, it will just be always like this. There will not be. There will always be those voices. It's also a scary thought to think that that's kind of normalized in some parts.
yeah, Eh, maybe some final thoughts because I think we
Yeah,
both have to go pretty soon.
yeah.
Um, um, yeah, I mean, to be like, of course, there are these small radical voices on some end, yes, and I always said like that there just has to be some visibility in some sort somewhere else, that, because otherwise it's like a majority kind of thing, and you're never it's never gonna be an all like encompassing societal thing. We still have to be realistic. 80% will never care, will never be interested. They don't like, they absolutely don't care, and it's not because they're bad
Mm-hmm.
people. Even like my cousin, who is one of the best and most heartwarming person, he's just like, I it's self-protection that I don't concern myself with any of either Middle Eastern conflict or anti-Semitism or any violence. They just zone out, they don't want to hear anything of anything, right?
Hmm.
And it's I think imperative to just be visible and be um go with just show warmth, and normal people will realize, oh my God, yeah, actually there is a lot of violence and vile thing coming from there.
Yeah, 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 for sure. To keep the not violent and to have arguments and hopefully, yeah, hopefully we make change in the everything that is between the extreme.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, I think thank you for what you're doing, because it's very courageous to go to universities
Mm.
and still be there. I mean, how often do you do that?
Well, now not so much. I did like a round of pretty much all the universities except one that also a very kind of a funny story, funny in a bad way. But we were like canceled by the department of, how's it called? The DEI of Germany, like diversity department. Uh, Out of all the stands that were offered, like every party, every movement, but the one that is I'm from Israel was canceled by the diversity department. Anyway, I did all the universities. Now we're doing mainly the project with Hamza, but we also continue in universities, and this will be very interesting because I think even when you bring Palestinian people who are not don't align with the radicals, you get heat, and I think it will be interesting. We will have two more universities this year, and I try to plan more like stands now, not in universities, because yeah, the academia is very important, but maybe like in libraries or even in events, in festivals, just like hopefully maybe one day on the street, maybe on open places, uh, to have this info stand, but info stand auf Deutsch. But
Yeah,
yeah, we do events. We do a lot of events with Hamza and other people. Also with there's a one bar here like that have a lot of events that have again it's called Weizen. Maybe I can send you a link. Events
it's
again.
so I don't know Hamza. I mean, you know him.
Yeah.
Of course, I follow him. I mean, he's very active,
Mm,
and it's crazy to hear that he gets so much heat as well from like and
yeah.
not
I mean,
just in
he gets
not just
hit
in the
also
student
from
group,
the
but that he's also on an
pro-Israeli
institute.
side.
From what?
I would say also from the pro-Israeli side, and that's also something
Yeah,
maybe for other conversation. We also have radical voices, yeah. We
of
have people
course.
who
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
very
of course.
radical,
Yeah, yeah.
and we have to be also self-aware. But yeah, definitely radicalization. That's the problem. And even in other events that we do with Druze people, Yazidi, that's why I say this place because it's a like a place for many struggles. They give. platform, and you can see the radical pushback on many, many other things. So um, that's also a scary part to think that everything that is not aligned with the current um, stream of this ideology is gonna get pushed.
Yeah,
So
because
anyway, yeah.
this to me has always been the scary part ever since October 7th. The most, absolutely apart from Israel and Palestine, apart from Jews and Muslims and Israelis and anything, is that we live in a liberal society here. You should not be afraid to speak your mind, but that is the general vibe here, and it's regardless of that really only radical voices are make it to be heard and find the
Mm,
confidence, and
mm,
everybody else has zero confidence. I think that's kind of what we started with. You gotta be able to have confidence to make your voice in its
yeah.
complexities or in its simplicity. It doesn't
Mm,
matter, that's
mm,
that's for me the foundational part
mm.
of where I feel like democracy and the liberal society is under
Yeah,
attack if that is not
yeah,
possible.
exactly. That's a good words to for final conclusion.
Okay.
Uh, but it's very well said. In the end, if it continues, I don't think there will be a democracy. Actually, obviously,
So,
the more it gets bigger, if they win, everything
yeah,
is law. Yeah,
whoever they is. Yeah. Be
yeah.
confident,
All right.
have some
Thank you.
courage, show
Thank you very
yourself,
much.
buy a t-shirt, spread to
Yeah,
Berlin.
I send me a link. I'll
I'll
get
send
one.
you
I'll
the
send
link.
you
Yes.
a photo of me in Berlin with the t-shirt.
I would love that. I would love actually to kind of do this to spread the t-shirts and get photos from. I still wait. I asked everybody who bought the t-shirt, please send me a picture with you in
Mm,
the t-shirt. And if you don't want to show your face, just show your body
mm,
in Berlin or wherever. But I would like to make this very simple visibility um, movement. So yeah,
that's cool.
just
All
to
right.
have some marketing and promo at the end. Well, Sai,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much, and much love from Vienna to Berlin, and keep doing
Thank
what
you.
you're doing.